How did you break the glasses? Hmm, it's anyways old and it broke in an unexplainable manner. Okay, fine. Let's start. So it's an answer. Okay, it's far on that much. Okay, anyways, last week we stopped with the 23rd question. I'm going to start from here. Okay. So I hope all of you have done this paper basically. I mean, those who came for my exam and did it, right? You all, anyways, did the paper. And those who are not in the theory class, then you all, I hope that you all have done this paper. Let's begin. So they have given you a flow chart and they're asking you when will the below program end? That means they're asking now you have the flow chart here. You can see the flow chart is starting. Where is my graphics tab? Yeah. The flow chart is starting from this instruction and end is basically somewhere here. So it has to go through multiple instructions to reach here. It is asking in which scenario will it come and reach the end. Let's check. If you go to this program, the first thing they're asking is input temperature. So they're asking a value for temperature. Let's check the first answer value. First answer they are saying temperature is 22. Now, let's see the value of temperature is 22. Now you come and check, is 22 greater than 21? Tell me, is this statement true or false? There's actually a condition. When I check this condition, will this condition give me true or will this condition give me false? Exactly. When I ask is 22 greater than 21, your answer is going to be true. True means yes, sir. So like indirectly, I'm asking you, is 22 greater than 21? So your answer is yes, nay. So it's going to be true. So if a condition is true, you will be going toward the yes direction, and you can see there is an instruction that has to be followed. And once that instruction is followed, you can see again we are going to come and check the temperature. So now tell me when the temperature was 22. Okay, when the temperature was 22, did the program stop? Did the program come to an end? No, it did not come to an end. What happened was it is again doing a repetition. You can see again the code is being repeated. Let's check with the next one, the below one, 15. Let's check with the one called 15. Okay. Now let's say the value of temperature is 15. Let's say you are going to check the value of temperature and the value of temperature is 15. When you come and check, is 15 greater than 21? Will this instruction, I mean, will this condition give you true or will this condition give you false? If I come and ask you, is 51 greater than 21? True or false? False means no, true means yes. So when I come and ask you, is 15 greater than 21? You have 15,000, I have 21,000. So do you have more than me? Like that, something like that. Exactly. The answer is what? No, which means false. So if it is false, you're going to go toward the no direction. In the no direction, you can see there is another condition that has to be checked. The other condition is checking is the temperature less than 16. Now, when you check is 15, of temperature is 15, no? When you check is 15 less than 16, true or false? If I'm going to ask you, is 15 less than 16? Exactly. That's going to give you true. So because it's going to give you true, you're going to go towards this direction. Here you can see there's an instruction that has to be followed. And once the instruction is over, you can see again there is a repetition. So based on that, tell me, if the temperature is 15, did the program stop? No, the program did not stop. Let's check with the third answer, which is 60. Okay. So now I'm going to check with the temperature being 16. Now, when the temperature is 16, I say input temperature, I'm going to say the value is 16. Now I'm going to check, is the temperature greater than 20? Now tell me, is 16 greater than 20? True or false? Is 16 greater than 20? False, right? So because it is false, I'm going to go to the no condition. Here we have another instruction, the no direction, and there's another instruction. There they have mentioned is 16 less than 16. Now tell me, is 16 less than 16. The program come to an end. Wait. 2020. Phone. Sorry for that. I got a call. That's why there was a small glitch. Why is it blur? Okay. There is nothing issue now, though. I'm perfect now. When you can. Am I still stuck? Am I perfect now? Perfect. Okay, right. Cool. So yeah. Now, based on that, tell me when you're checking is 16 less than 16, is that condition going to give you true or is that condition going to give you false? When you're checking is 16 less than 16, true or false? Exactly. That's going to give you false. So when this condition is giving you false, you can see you're going to go to the no direction and the program comes to an end. So based on that, tell me when the temperature is 16, did the program come to an end? Yes. So the question is asking when will a program come to an end? You can say when the temperature is 16, the program comes to an end. That's how you can find the answer is this. Tell me, did you all understand now? How do you do these types of questions? Yes or no? Anyone having any doubts you all want to clarify, drop them in the chat as well. So if you have done this question, if you have marked this answer correctly, then you can mark it as tick and put a mark. Then all the questions are similar like this. No, it depends on the scenario. Always you'll read the question and understand what they're asking. So here they're asking, when will the program come to an end? No. So if you go through the program, you can see you have to figure out, okay, if I go through instruction by instruction, when out of the given options, when will this come to an end? So you can just test with one values and see, and you can easily figure out the answer. The purpose of this program, if you look at this program, they're saying the purpose of this program is if the temperature is more than 20, the boiler should be off. Okay. And if the temperature is less than 60, the boiler should be on. That's the purpose. Okay, perfect. Next question. Name a control structure that can be seen in the flowchart given in question 23. Okay, before I answer that, tell me, what are the control structures we have in our syllabus? We have learned three control structures. What are they? Actually, there are only three control structure. Whether you learn it in your syllabus or not, there's only three. What are those three control structures? Is this a past paper? No, this is a paper I made. This is the semester paper which I gave for my theory class students. I'm pretty sure this. If you did this paper, it's very hard for you to get more than 90. I guarantee and tell you that. Unless you're very good, very, very good at IT. I didn't get my marks. If you did the paper online, then you will be getting the marks today or tomorrow only in the class. The theory class I'll be giving it. Physically, you would have got it. You're so cunning. No, I'm very good. Just kidding. Okay. So we have sequence, we have selection, and we have repetition. Okay. So these are the Asara, who did the physical online buggers who did online fellows who did the exam physically, your marks are there. You can WhatsApp me and get it, or else there are some small corrections to be done. So I'll particular because I had the paper discussion in the last class. I'll let you know later. Let's keep that thing aside. Forget. Focus here. Okay, so sequence, selection, and repetition. And out of them, in any program you take, sequence will anyways be there. Sequence is where, okay, after one instruction, the next instruction is executed. After that instruction, the next instruction is executed. So sequence is where, if in a program, if instruction is executed from top to bottom, one after the other, we call it a sequence. So let's say after instruction 1, we're going to go for instruction 2. After instruction 2, we're going to go for instruction 3. Likewise, step by step, if a program is going to execute, we call it a sequence control structure. So any program you take, obviously will follow the sequence pattern. The sequence is there in any program, right? But selection and repetition, it depends on the program, right? Now selection is a program where a decision has to be made. a decision has to be made. So based on the decision, you have to make a choice. So based on the decision, you have to make a choice. So basically, it's the same thing. No? So a decision has to be made, and you will be getting a choice, right? So it's something like this. Let's say I'm going to ask you, do you want to eat, let's say, um, something like, do you want to eat burger or submarine? So you get a choice. You have to choose whether you want burger or submarine. So you can't choose both. That option is not there here. So you can choose either you want burger or you can choose you want submarine. That's how it works. You have only one option. Huh? This is a one-time offer. So I'm going to ask you like, do you want burger or submarine? You have a choice to be made, and you can select one and halas, game over. That's what selection is. Repetition is like selection only, but it's a bit different. Okay. The word repetition means you're going to do something again and again. No. Similarly, here also in what you call in a program as well, in a repetition program, there might be a condition, and the purpose of this condition is to know when to stop, basically, when to stop the repetition. But what happens here is you will have an instruction to execute repeatedly. Okay, there are certain instructions you're going to again and again and again do until you meet a specific condition, something like this. Now imagine I'm telling you, go and ask from your parents go and ask permission from your parents to go out. Okay, to go out, you're going to go and ask permission from your parent. So let's say you go and ask permission from your parent. You got the permission, fine. You did not get the permission, then you'll be like, okay, I did not get the permission, I can't come. Now, in that scenario, when you're going to ask permission from a parent, will you ask permission only once? Suppose, let's say you did not get the permission. You went and asked, Mama, I want to go out, or did I want to go out, and you didn't get the permission. Will you stop asking from there? Now, will you be that good child? You'll be like, oh, okay, one time I asked, why should I disturb them? Paune? Will you stop like that? I are so good human beings. Huh? Wait, none of you are like that. What will you all do? Again and again and again and again until they get irritated, you'll be again and again asking them, can I go? 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 Now you will again and again asking, right? Now you will be at a point you stop. Okay, there you will not again. The repetition is there. You stop at a point. Now in this scenario, what you will do is you will again and again ask permission until when? Until you get the permission. Once you get the permission, okay. Once you get the permission, again will you go and ask. No, right? Once you get the permission, if you go and ask case param, sometimes you'll that got permission also might go. So what you do is once you get the permission, you stop the repetition, right? Similarly, you can see here there is a condition. The condition is what am I getting the permission? Now, based on that condition, you're repeating an instruction, right? You're repeating the part called asking instruction. Okay, you're going to repeat this thing until what? Until you get the until you get the permission. So you can see here there is a specific instruction that is being repeated again and again until a condition is met, right? So that is what you call repetition. There are something that's going to repeat. Now if you look at this program as well, you can see here is temperature great less than 20. Okay, is temperature less than 20, you can see that is actually a based on this condition, you can see it's repeating. So you can see there's a repetition here, and again coming here. So again, this part is repeating. So there's a condition here. Based on this condition, you can see this instruction called turn boiler off that is going to repeat. So it's going to repeat again and again and again and again based on this condition. So basically, you can see this part is actually representing a repetition. This part is representing a repetition. And let's say that's going to give you false. Now you can see there's another condition here. Again, based on this condition, you can see based on this condition, this is going to repeat again and again and again. Okay, this is going to repeat again and again. It can repeat. Okay, so this is also going to be a repetition. So you can call this as repetition. There's only repetition. It is not repetition inside repetition. Okay, it is just a repetition program. Why I'm saying it's just a repetition program is if it is going to be something like repetition inside repetition. Okay, if it's going to be actually that option are given in the answer as well. If it is something like repetition inside repetition, it's going to be something like this. Imagine there's a condition. Okay, imagine there's a condition, and based on this condition, you're going to let's say um, do an instruction. Okay, you're going to perform an instruction, and let's say after that you have another condition here. Okay, and based on this condition, let's say there is an instruction that you are going to repeat. So you can see there's going to be a repetition again and again and again. And then if it's false, let's say again going to come and check the condition. This is how a repetition inside repetition would look like. Okay. What I mean by that is, if you carefully look here, there is a small repetition here, which means based on this condition, you can see there's a condition here. Based on this condition, you can see there's like a repetition here. See, it's repeating and coming again back to this condition. So this is like a one round repetition, 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 repetition. Okay, there's a one round. And you can see when this condition is going to give you false or something vice versa, you're going to go and check the main condition now. Okay, main condition now, right? So if you notice here, there is a mini repetition, and again you're coming and checking this condition here, and let's say this condition is going to give you true. Now again you're going to repeat this instruction. See, again repeat this instruction, right? So we call this as normally repetition is inside the repetition. I will show you a good program for that. So I think last year semester paper I had a repetition inside repetition. Let me see if I had the last year semester paper. Grade 10 paper. No, this is grade 10. Semester 1, 2023. This is grade 10. I have the answer script, the marked ones. Do I have a question paper? Instruction, MCQ, test paper part 1, part 2, paper 2, grade 10 second, grade 11 second. This this is a program. This is one of the hardest program I gave for last year. If you can find the answer easily, this program had I asked to draw a dry run. This dry run had 50 odd rows. So this is like one of the fun paper which I gave. Okay. So if you check this paper, this actually has a repetition inside a repetition. Notice here, in here, based on this condition, okay, based on this condition, these two instructions will repeat. So again and again and again and again and again, this will repeat. Once this get false, you'll again come for the main condition, and then based on this condition, this whole thing is again going to repeat. Okay, this whole thing is again going to repeat. So, like if for example, you can imagine this whole thing as one instruction. Just forget about this. Imagine one whole instruction. So you can see there is a repetition, right? If you like consider red color box as one instruction, you can see that part is again and again and again repeating. But if you come and check that red color box, again there's a repetition inside. So it's like a repetition inside a repetition. How can we identify selection? If there is a selection, then you will not be again coming and checking the condition. If you're again coming and checking the condition, again, if you're going to check the condition, okay, if a condition is going to be again checked, then that is not a selection. If it is a selection, only one time you will be checking the condition. You can't again check a condition. Now, if you look at this program, you can see this part is there, this condition is there. Once you are going and turning the boiler on, you'll again go and you can see you're going to ask to input the temperature, and then you're going to what do you call check this condition, and then you're going to check this condition. Okay. Wait 1 second, 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 1 second. Yeah, it's a repetition. See, based on this condition also is repeating. Based on this condition, that's that if that condition is again going to come and check, it's a repetition. Let me just double check, because if I'm going to double check like this and like this and like this, yeah. There's another perspective where you can take this as repetition inside. No, but it's not. It's not. No, not repetition. You can take a selection inside repetition, but there's a small issue here, because you can't take it as selection inside repetition. Reason is because you can see if it's true, you're gonna again coming and checking this condition. See, if it's true, you're again gonna come and check this condition. So there is a repetition, right? See, if it's true again and again and again and again and again, you are going to check this condition. If it's a repetition, if it's a selection, you will not check it again. So answer is basically B. Anyways, it will not be D. If you had thought in different perspective, it will be like C. Repetition. Let me now check your answers. Repetition inside selection image. If it is repetition inside selection, it would look something like this. If it's a repetition inside selection, it looks something like this. Condition. Based on the condition, you have two directions, either the yes direction or no direction. And maybe here you have a condition, or let's say, let's make it more simpler. Let's make an instruction here. Instruction. After the instruction, let's say there's a condition. After the condition, let's say there's an instruction. And after this instruction, if you're going to again come and check this condition, see, so this whole section you can call as a repetition, right? This whole part is a repetition. So you can see based on instruction, based the after instruction is executed, again a condition has been checked. Again and again and again, a condition has been checked. But if you see this fellow, are we again, if in this program, let's say this condition is going to give you false. Let's say this is yes, and this is no. Let's say if no, you're going to end the program. Instruction, and then it's going to end the program. Now, if you look at this kind of program, you can see, okay, if you look at this program, you can see, based on this condition, see, based on this condition, you're going to repeat this instruction. See, you're going to come down, repeat this instruction, again go and check the condition. But if you see here, once this program gives no, you're going to end the program. If you take this main condition, you look at this program randomly and tell me, this main condition, how many times did I come and check this main condition? If I'm going to read this program from top to bottom, is it one time or many times? You see that main condition. Okay, those who are saying many. Apart from the first time, okay, apart from the first time, so let's say this is the start of the program. Apart from the first time, next, when am I going to go and check the condition? In which scenario? Let me call this as condition 1, condition 2. My question is asking, apart from the first time I'm checking condition 1, look at this program nicely and tell me, is there any scenarios where we again going and checking the condition 1? No. So this is, now look at the condition 2. Is the condition 2 repeating? Will I be checking the condition 2 multiple times? Yes or no? Yes. So is this condition 2 a selection, or is yellow color highlighted part a repetition? Is it a selection or repetition? The yellow highlighted part. It's a, exactly, it's a repetition. But if I take this part, Is this a selection or is it a repetition? The condition one. That's a selection because that condition is being tested. That condition is checked only once. That condition is being checked only once. So you can call this as repetition inside selection. Is that clear? Is this part clear for all of you? Yes or no? Is repetition inside selection. Rumor. Now I'll show you selection inside repetition. Huh? Okay, so this is, you can see this yellow color code is again repeating under the selections. There, first of all, we did the selection. After we did the selection only, it's something is, imagine you want to ask permission of your parents. You're going to ask permission of your parents. So you're going to make the first decision. The first decision you're going to make is, am I going to ask my father or mother? Your first decision is, am I going to ask my father or mother? Then you have two options. You can either ask your father. Okay, let's say ask father, or else ask mother. Right? Now you thought asking father is a bit strict. Let's go to ask mama, or you chose to your mother. So you're going to ask your mother the permission. So you're going to ask mother the ask him permission. Okay. Now you're going to check, did I get permission? You're going to check, did you get the permission? Okay. If you got the permission, then you're going to go out. If you did not get the permission, you're going to again ask permission. You did not get the permission, you're going to again ask permission. See, now you can see here, you made a selection first. What was the selection you made first? Am I going to ask my father or am I going to ask my mother? After you made that selection, now the next thing is repeating. That asking permission is repeating. You're again and again and again and again repeating until you get the permissions. You can see there is a repetition inside a selection. Clear, all of you? Those who didn't understand earlier. Okay, perfect. Now I'll show you how you can identify a selection inside repetition. Imagine something like this. You have a condition. Based on this condition, you have two choices, the yes and the no. So based on this, let's say you're going to execute an instruction. And after this instruction, let's say there is a condition. Based on this condition, let's say you have two choices. So I'll call this condition 2, condition 1. And based on this, let's say you're going to do this instruction or else this instruction. So I'll call the instruction 2, instruction 3. Once you're done with that, you're coming back to instruction 4. And you're going to go and check this main condition again. Imagine a program like this. Okay. If you look at this program, you can see we have a condition here, right? We're going to check, let's say this condition is true. You're going to execute this instruction. Okay. There's a condition. Okay. There's a condition. And based on that condition, you're going to decide what direction are you going to go. So let's say this condition gave you true. Forget about what the condition is. Just imagine there's a condition and that condition gave you true. So because that condition gave you true, let's say you're going to execute this instruction, right? After you execute this instruction, let's say you're going to check this condition 2. You're going to check the condition 2. Based on the condition 2, you have two options to choose, right? You have two options to choose. And you, let's say that condition 2 was true. So because it was true, let's say you chose this instruction. Now you can see whether your condition is true or whether your condition is false. In both the scenarios, you're coming back to the main program, right? You're coming back to the main program. I mean, main is one, right? Now you can see here, there's a condition here. Whether this condition is true or whether this condition is false, again, you're coming to a centralized instruction. A centralized instruction. Now tell me, as per this program, okay, as per this program, Based on whether it's true or false. Okay, based on whether it's true or false, are you again going and checking the condition in any directions? Before you check the condition one, are you again going and checking condition two? Before you check condition one, are you again going to go and check condition two? Now, in this program, let's say you came to condition two. You're now in this point. Okay, you're standing here. You have a decision to be made. You have a decision. Should I go for this yes direction or should I go for no direction? Let's say you went to either one of those directions. After you went to those directions, will you again come and check the condition? If you're again going to come and check the condition, now my question is, will you come to this condition before going here? Exactly. We go to condition one and only condition two. So I can indirectly, let's say I group this whole thing as one thing. Let's say I told this whole thing is one thing. See, this whole thing looks like one block, right? Imagine if this whole thing was not there. Okay, imagine the whole thing was not there. Okay, imagine the whole thing was not there. You can see there's a repetition, right? See, there's a condition. Based on this condition, you're going to execute an instruction. Then you're going to execute this dark block of code. Then you're going to execute this instruction. Again, come and check the condition. See, if that what I colored in black color is not there, it looks something like this, right? Ting, ting. I'm not using the correct shapes, but if I just what do you call use the like if I just put this whole selection inside one block, it will look something like that. So notice here, this is a repetition. This whole thing is a repetition, and inside this repetition, okay, inside this whole thing called repetition, there is a selection that can be made. If it is a selection that can be made, if it's always keep in mind, if it is a selection inside repetition, if it is a selection inside repetition, if you take this as a block of code, you can say you'll be able to take it as a block of code here. See, this is a separate. If you take it as block of code, you can see it's like this whole thing has only selection. In that whole part, there's only a selection to be made. Now, if you take this whole block of code separately, okay, this black color block of code separately, let me take the black color block of code separately. That's something else. A condition. Based on this condition, you have instruction one, instruction two. And then you're coming back to a centralized instruction. Okay. So here there's going to be a condition, here instruction, here also instruction. Now, if you take this block of code, is there a repetition? Can you see any code repeating? Is a condition. Huh? If you take that block of code, can you see the condition getting again repeated in that block? No. Okay. Imagine this is the start of the program. This is going to be the stop of the program. See, it's done. Halas. That condition is not going to be again checked. It's not going to be again checked. So that's a selection. So you can call this as a selection inside repetition. A selection inside repetition. Now, this is where you have one control structure inside another control structure. Okay, you have one control structure inside another control structure, right? So if you have one control structure inside another control structure, first thing you should be able to segment it like this in a separate box. Once you segment in a separate box, you can easily figure out is it a selection or is it a repetition. Okay. So in this program here, the selection inside repetition, and the previously I showed you this is a repetition inside selection. In both of these, you can take that block of code that inside what is there. You can see here repetition. Here also you can take this block of code separately. So here also you can take this as block of code separately. You can take them separately, right? It is something else. If I'm going to put this into the like types of list, it's something else. Imagine there's a ordered list. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And under one ordered list, there's like a sub multi-level list. I mean, like it's like imagine a multi-level list, something else. Okay. If it's a selection inside repetition inside, it looks like this. But the question I gave you all was not like this. The question I gave you all was something like this. It is not a thing inside a thing. It is two different things. they're both in equal powers kind of structure. Okay, if you look at the program I gave you, which is this, okay, you can see here, you can't take that as a whole block. Like, can I can't take only this as one block. This is not a block, because you can see, based when this condition is yes, you're again going back to the main fellow. So you can't take it as a block actually. Technically speaking, you can't take this as a block. If you look at it carefully, what happens is there is a condition. Based on that condition, there is another condition. Based on this condition, either you end the program or else there is a repetition. This part is repeating. This part and this part is repeating. Okay, so that has unknown repetition. This has a separate repetition. It's like two different repetitions. Forget about that part. But first of all, tell me, did you understand how would a program look if it is selection inside repetition and repetition inside selection? Those two are clear. Tell me, are you clear about these two? How would a repetition inside selection look like and a selection inside repetition look like? Can we identify a repetition by seeing if there are arrows going upwards? Yes. No, not like that. You identify if it's a repetition if the condition is going to again be checked in the same loop. Wait, I told you a small mistake. This is actually a, let's come back to this. You can see there is a condition here. Based on this condition, this instruction is going to execute. After this instruction executed, there's another instruction to execute. Once two of these instructions executed, you're again going to check this condition, right? I'll again tell you, there's a condition here. Based on this condition, you're going to execute this instruction, and then you're going to come and execute this instruction. This is the first instruction to execute, second instruction to execute after the condition is checked. Okay, after the condition is checked, you're going to check these two instructions. Is that part clear? I'm going to break this down little by little and tell you. Okay, after this condition has been checked, you're going to check this instruction and then this instruction. Okay, and then you're again going to check the condition, and you're again going to check the condition. So it's like, after condition is checked, you're going to execute an instruction. Once that instruction is done, you're going to go and execute a different instruction. When that instruction is done, you're going to again come and check the condition. So tell me, look at this and tell me, does this look like a repetition or does this look like a selection? Exactly. It looks like a repetition. Why do you say it's repetition? How many times is this condition checked? Is it checked only once throughout the whole program, or it's checked again and again? See, it's checked again and again. Once this is done, you again come to this. See, you again come to this. You again come to this. Again, you come to this. So because you're again going to come to this, it's going to be what? A repetition or a selection? It's going to be what? It's going to be a repetition. Tell me, are you clear about that part? Are you clear that this first condition is representing something called a repetition? Yes or no? Perfect. Now let's come to the next one. There's small modification here. What's going to happen is, if this condition is going to be false, I'm going to take it a bit up, okay, because no space. There is a condition to be checked. Okay. Based on this condition, based on this condition, either you end the program or else you go and execute an instruction. And once that instruction is done, you're going to execute this instruction. You can execute the second instruction. After you execute this instruction, okay, after you execute this instruction, it's a bit ugly. Let me read it in a more clean place. We have a plain page here. Yes, I'm going to use this place. Huh? So there's the instruction. Based on the, I'm rewriting the whole thing, okay? As a condition. Based on the condition, you're going to execute an instruction. Based on that instruction, you're going to execute another instruction. And after that, you're again going to come and check the condition. On the other hand side, if the condition is false, you're going to go and check another condition. You're going to go and check another condition. If this condition is false, you're going to end the program. If the condition is true, you're going to come and execute the same instruction. Now, if you look at this program, the second instruction is there, right? So the second condition is there, right? Second instruction has how many choices? After I check the second condition, okay, after this condition is being checked, okay, after I check the condition, how many paths it has, how many paths it has of which it can choose from? After this instruction is being executed, how many paths it has? Okay, we have two paths. It can go towards the right hand side or it can go towards the downside. If it goes towards the right hand side, is there a repetition? No, there is no repetition. If it goes down, okay, if it goes down, is there a repetition? Yes, if it goes down, there is a repetition file. But one thing, but will we check the condition 2 before we check the condition 1? Will we check condition 2? Now, there's a repetition. In that repetition, will we check condition 2 before checking condition 1? No. Now, based on what I told a while ago, tell me, what do you think this is then? Is this a selection or is a repetition? What does it look like? Exactly. It looks like a selection because I'll redraw this whole thing in a different way where you might feel like it's a selection. Huh? Let's say there's a condition. Based on the condition, you execute an instruction. Why is it stuck? Why is it stuck? Give me a moment. Wait, my browser is stuck. Yeah. My answer will change. Wait. You can say based on this condition, why is it still stuck? Give me a moment, it's still loading. Okay, okay. Because of the torch I gave for the paper, maybe. Okay, fine. So there's a condition. Based on the condition, there's an instruction to execute. And let's say there's another condition. And you can see after you execute the instruction, imagine you're going to check here. Now this was the example I gave you all for selection inside repetition. For selection inside repetition, this was the example I gave you a while ago. Now. You can see here, there was a condition we checked here. Okay. This condition will be again checked as well. But the second time it's checking, when you're again going to check this condition, will you be again checking it before? Will you again go and check the green one before you check the yellow? Will you again go and check this green one before you check the yellow? Nice look and see. So just follow the lines and go and see if it's repeating again and again and again. Will you again go and check the green before checking the yellow? No. So I told you all, does this look like a repetition or does this look like a selection? This part. Therefore, exactly. It looks like a selection. The same thing only, it's drawn here a bit upside down again. Here also you can see there is a second condition, right? Based on the second condition, you can see we are going to choose a path. Okay. When you follow that path, you're again going to check this condition only. But will you check the condition 2 before checking condition 1? Will you again check condition 2 before checking condition 1? No. So condition 2, is that a selection or is that condition 2 a repetition? It is a exactly. It is a selection. So overall, if you see in that program, there is a selection inside repetition. By mistake, I told you it's repetition. It's actually selection inside repetition. Sorry for the mistake I made earlier. The selection inside repetition. But in that question, even after the end, there is an error check in the condition 1. That's why I said, no. After n, there is no errors. After n means you can't again repeat the program. See? After n, there is nothing. Yeah. After n, there is nothing else. N is the last. So you can see based on this, you can again go again check the instruct condition. So basically, this part is actually a repetition, not a selection. The second one is actually a selection. The first one is only a repetition. So in indirect, actually, this is a selection inside repetition. So the answer will be C, exactly. Tell me all of you all, are you all clear on that? Got it now? Our C and D control structures, we only learn 3. Yeah, they are control structures. Go and check your textbook or you. I have thought about this too as well. We call this nested control structures. Something inside something. We want to see there's a topic called nested control structures. So selection inside repetition is where, see, inside one main instruction, there is another sub instruction as well. Those who did not understand earlier, do you understand now up to a certain level at least? There is a selection inside a repetition. Look at this, it will make more sense. Did this make sense, this part? Okay. So always when you get a condition which has nested control structure. What do you mean by nested control structure? What do you mean by this term called nested control structure? Any idea? Yes. Nested control structure is where Inside one control structure, there is another control structure. Okay, nested control structure is where inside one control structure, there is another control structure. Now, overall, if you saw here, there was a repetition. Overall, if you see there was a repetition. And inside that repetition, if you drive inside that repetition, there is a part of a selection that has to be made as well. Okay, there is a selection that has to be made as well. So this is what you call as nested control structure. Inside one, there is another one. Okay, the whole thing is a what you call a the whole thing is actually a repetition. Inside that repetition, you can see there is a selection that has to be made. So this is called a selection inside a repetition. Okay, and the previously what I showed you here, what I drew in the left hand side here. Here you can see here also there is a what you call a nested control structure. If you see here, main thing we're checking here is a repetition. Okay, so the selection. You can see inside this selection, if you go in one path, there is a repetition. So repetition is inside the selection, something like that. This is called a nested control structure. Tell me now, are you clear about these two nested control structures? Yes or no? Did you all understand how I found the answer for 24th question? Yes or no? I don't understand how it is a selection. Did you understand the right side program, how it's a selection? Okay, let's take something. I'll give you a practical example. Imagine you're supposed to write down your notes. You missed school and you're going to write down your notes. You have 9 subjects of notes which you want to copy down. You have how many subjects of notes you're copy now? 9 subjects of notes you're going to copy. Okay. So what you're planning is you're planning on you're planning on completing subject by subject. You're like first let's complete subject one, then let's complete subject two, let's complete subject three, let's complete subject four. Killer. You're going to go on a repetition. Okay. You're going to go on like you're going to do certain tasks in repeat is you're going to select where to copy the note from or where to study, and then you're going to, or let's say where to, yeah, where you're going to study from, and then you're going to, let's say, copy the note. Once you're done copying the note, now you'll go for the next subject, something like that. Okay, if I'm going to explain this practically, imagine something is you're going to first of all decide, am I going to study in the hall or am I going to study in the room? Okay, once you make, okay, no, first of all you're going to decide what subject you're going to study. First of all, you're going to decide what subject you're going to study. After you decide what subject you're going to study, now you're going to decide, are you going to study in the hall or are you going to study in the room? Let's say you're going to study in the hall, will you? Now you're going to copy the notes. Once you're done copying the notes, now you're going to decide, okay, what is the next subject I'm going to study? Okay, so let's say first of all you studied maths. Now you're like, okay, now I'm going to study the ICT notes. Now again you make the decision, should I study in the hall or should I study in the room? If it's in the room, again you're going to copy the notes. Once you're done copying, again you're going to go and check the subject. Now, if you notice here, you are making a decision, right? Am I going to study in the hall or am I going to study in the room? Is that decision again and again repeating for one subject? Now you decided I'm going to study maths. After you decide I'm going to study maths, again and again, are you going to decide, okay, am I going to study in the hall? Am I going to study in the room? Am I going to study in the hall? Am I going to study in the room? Do you like that? Do you partially copy one part of the notes in the hall and another part of the notes from the room, other part of the room from upstairs, downstairs? Are you changing places? No. Look at this. If you look at this dummy chart I have drawn here, once you decide you're going to study in the hall, you're going to copy the notes from the hall. Once you're done copying the notes from the hall, only you're going to now again go and check the next subject. So basically, this decision is there, right? This decision, it is not going to repeat again and again for one subject. You will again come to this decision after you decide the next subject you're going to study from. Again, you're going to come with third time. So this will repeat in one iteration, in one round. Okay, in one iteration, it's repeated only once. But if you take this instruction again and again, it's repeated, right? For the first subject, then second subject, then third subject, then fourth subject. So this is like a repetition, but this is like a selection. What subject I'm going to study is like a repeating. But what where I'm going to study is like a selection you are going to make. Did that make sense, Iman? Iman, perfect. Anyone having any other questions there? Okay, so the answer there is going to be the C. If you have any questions, let me know, okay. Next, how many times will the following while loop be executed? What do you think the answer is? Those who did, let's see if you have guessed the correct or wrong answers. What do you think the answer is? Three, four, five, or six? Let's check. So to do this program, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the dry run. Okay, I'm going to draw the dry run. So let's draw the dry run video. So you can see in this. So how you draw the dry run is, first of all, you see what are the variables we have in this program. You can see in this program there's a variable called count, and then apart from count there is no other variables. So after you found write all the variables, now you write down all the conditions we have. So there is a condition to check is count less than 6. Apart from checking that condition, there is no other conditions we are going to check. Okay, and then you're going to have one column for output. Now I'm going to run this program step by step. The first instruction I have is count equals 0. So I'm going to say now count is 0. Next condition I have is count less than 6. Is count less than 6. Now, as per the given data, tell me, is the value of count less than 6? Yes or no? Is the value of count less than 6? Yes. You can see if I ask only 0 less than 6, is 0 less than 6? Yes or no? Yes, right? So I'm going to mention here true. Now tell me, while loop, if the condition is true, should the instruction inside, now you can see there's instruction here called display, what you call coding is cool. This is one instruction. The other instruction I have is count equals count plus 2. Now how many instructions I have here inside the while loop? Inside this while loop, how many instructions I have? I have two instructions. Now tell me, based on this condition, okay, in a while loop, based on the condition, if the condition is true, okay, if that condition is true, should you repeat the instructions we have inside? If the condition is true, should you repeat the instructions inside? Yes or no? Can you remember what the World Trade Center? While true, continue. So if this in a while loop, if the condition is true, should you continue? Yes. So then I am going to repeat the instruction inside. What are the instruction inside I have? Display coding is cool. So I'm going to display here message saying coding is cool. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to go for the next instruction that is saying count is equal to count plus 2. The meaning of this statement is that they're telling to change the value of count. They're saying now make the value of count as count plus 2. They're saying now make the value of count equal to count plus 2. So based on that, tell me what will be the new value of count? When you say count equals count plus 2, what is going to be the new value of count? Yes. Currently, the value of count is 0. So 0 plus 2 is going to be equal to how much? 2. So now count is going to be 2. And always keep in mind, if there's a repetition, while loop, repeat until loop, all those stuffs, Once you're done with it, you're again go and check the condition. So again, when I go and check the condition, is count less than 6? Is that statement going to give me true or false? Is count less than 6? True or false? Indirectly, is 2 less than 6? True. So if this condition is true, should I repeat these instructions that is the inside? Should I repeat these two instructions? Yes. So I'm going to say coding is cool first. The next instruction I have is count equals count plus 2. So now tell me what will be the value of count now, and I'm executing this instruction now. Exactly. It's going to be what? It's going to be 4. After it is 4, I'm again going to know because I came near the end while, I'm again going to go and check that condition. Now again, when I come and check that condition, is count less than 6? True or false? Perfect. That's going to again give me true. So because this is true, am I again going to execute this instruction? Yes. So first they're saying coding is cool. So I'm going to display here message saying coding is cool. Second thing is count equals count plus 2. So what will be the new value of count now? Now it is 6. Now when I come and check the condition now, is 6 less than 6? True or false? Exactly. That's going to give you false. If a condition, if the while loop condition, okay, the condition along with the while loop is that if this condition along with while statement, this condition, if it gives you false, should you execute the loop again? Should you execute those instructions inside again? No, you stop it. So once you stop it, you're going to go for the instruction that is there after end while. In this program after end while, is there an instruction they have given us? After end while, have they given us any instructions? No, the program stops. So technically speaking, you have inside this count, inside the while loop, there was two instructions. This was one instruction and this was another instruction. These two instruction was repeated how many times? Exactly. That display coding is cool. It was repeated. You can see that was the instruction inside that while loop. No, you can see that instruction was repeated thrice. So basically, this while loop has executed 3 times. Is that clear, all of you? Do you understand that? Yes or no? Can you understand how I figure out that this while loop has executed 3 times? 3 times, whatever is there inside has got repeated. So if you draw a dry run like this, always keep in mind when drawing the dry run, you have to have one column each for each variables. Why is it dark? Suddenly today my browser is playing a fool. Anyways, fine. One column each for each variables, one column each for each conditions. Again, all what you call column should be unique, don't have repetitions. And then one common column for the output. You draw a dry run like this, it's very easy for you to figure out the answer. So, but the loop got executed 4 times. Since the fourth round, it's checked. When you are asking about, imagine something like this. You have a race. You're running a race. Okay. Imagine you're running a race, a marathon, or let's say around the grounds. You have the start position. This is the place you're going to start from, and you're going to run towards this direction. Okay. Right. Imagine when you're going to start, you're going to in your mind you have the idea. I have to run 3 times. I ran 3 times around the ground. So when you're in the start position, you will be like, have I completed 3 rounds? Okay. No, no. You're going to run the first round. Again, you come here and check, have I run 3 times? No, no. So now you run the second round. Once you complete the second round, now you're again going to ask, have I completed 3 times? No, no. So you again run the third round. Once you're done with the third round, now you're going to come and check you, have I Run three times. Yes. You asked yourself this question four times. Even though you asked yourself this question four times, how many times did you run around the grounds? Three or four? How many times did you run around the grounds? Only three times. So same thing here as well. The while loop, where we don't normally see the number of times we check the condition. We normally check the number of times the instruction inside has got executed. So if you look at this while loop, the instruction inside the while loop, how many times it has got executed? Three or four? Muhammad Unais, I'm asking you. Three or four? Only three times. Is that clear? For those who are wondering why isn't it four, I will now clear why I said it's three. It's not about the number of time you check the condition. It's about the number of time you execute the instruction. Because when you talk about the word loop, the loop means repeating. Okay. So while loop means we are talking about whatever is inside this loop, how many times they are repeated. Okay. So they are repeated only three times. Okay. Anyone having any other questions here? Is there anyone of you all who have any questions? Feel free to ask the questions. Huh? If you have any questions, ask regarding this. Okay. So as there's no other conditions, I'm going to go for the next one. If you have any questions, ask in chat. Okay. Next. What is the output of the below program if the number inputs were okay? In this question, I told you all first of all do a modification, right? If you all were there in the exam also, I have told you all. Even for those who did online also, I made an announcement. Only in the paper class people, I forgot to inform you all this. Like those who did the paper physically, I gave a particular announcement saying there's a small error in this paper. Wait, what time is Isha? Is it after 7:30 or before 7:30? Ting, 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 ting. 7:28. Oh my God, 28. Okay, I'll give you a time to play and come. I'll discuss this question at 5 minutes. 7:15 can what do you call 7:16, 7:20? Around 7:22, I'll discuss this question. So be back as soon as possible, huh? Because Isha is early. But my Isha's time has got changed so drastically. Last month, last 2 weeks, so 1 week it was 7:45 something. So late. Some nature issue. Anyways, I'll discuss this question at 7:22. Those who are praying, you can quickly pray and come. I'll also be going to pray. But until I go to pray, if you have any questions, I can drop them in the chat. Okay, let's start. So this question, again, what you're going to do is you're going to use a dry run. And yeah, like I said a while ago, this question, there was a small mistake in the question. That means they are given you unwanted data. If you did the paper with the in the paper you call exam center, I would have told them to make the announcement. So it should be what is the output of the below program, HRI. This part is unwanted, okay? Again, for this program as well, what we are going to do is we are going to draw the dry run, okay? So if I draw the dry run, it would look something like this. Again, I'm going to have one column for each variable. In this program, the variables I have are one is total. Apart from total, there's a variable called count. Apart from these two variables, are there any other variables I have used in this program? What do you all think? Yes or no? No. Apart from these two, there is no other variables. If you look at this whole program, how many conditions can you see? Like how many conditions? Like how many things are there where you can make decisions? How many conditions are there? Only one. What is that condition you can see here? What is the condition or what is the decision that can be seen here? Exactly. That is what is total greater than 10 is total greater than 10. Apart from this, is there any other condition that has to be checked? No, exactly. Does this program have any outputs? Does this program have any outputs? Yes. So I'm going to have one common column for the output. Again, keep in mind, only for the output, we have one column. Other all, for every, what do you call in every variable, one column, every condition, one column. Fine. Now we are going to fill this table by looking at this program. Okay. In this program, the first instruction they have mentioned here is total is equal to 0. So I'm going to come and mention here under total, the value is 0. Then they have mentioned count equals 1. So I'm going to come under count and mention the value is 1. Now here they have mentioned to repeat these instructions. So let me start executing them as well. First, we have total is equal to total plus count. Okay. So always keep in mind, maths and IT, there's a small difference. In maths, what you do is you always keep you always make sure that you centralize a term. Okay. But here it's not like that. Here always what we're doing is in left hand side we are defining, and right hand side it's mentioned how to define it. So here what we're doing is we're saying we're defining a value for total. Okay, we're giving a value for total, and right hand side it says the value, right? So always keep in mind left hand side will have what we are defining. We call this as an identifier. The left hand side will have the identifier, and the right hand side will have the value. So they are saying the value of total is going to be equal to total plus count. So tell me what will be total plus count? What will be the value of total plus count? Now total is 0, count is 1. So total plus count is equal to how much? Exactly. Total plus count is going to be equal to 0 plus 1 is going to be equal to 1. So I come and write here that the new value of total is going to be 1. Is that part clear, all of you? Yes or no? Did you understand that instruction? Okay, perfect. The next instruction they have mentioned count equals count plus 1. So based on this, now tell me what is the value of count plus 1? What is the value of count plus 1? Yes. Currently, you can see the value of count is 1. So when you say count plus 1, 1 plus 1, it is going to make it now 2. So once we execute this instruction, that's going to count is going to have the value of 2. Is that clear up to there? Perfect. Next, we have display total. Now, based on that, tell me what is the value that's going to get displayed? Perfect. If you look at this table, you can see the value of total is how much? The value of total. Always you take the latest value of a specific column. Okay. So this total, you can see the latest value is how much? 1. So when you say display total, what is the value that's going to get displayed? Number 1 is going to get displayed because that is the value of total at the moment. Is that clear up to there, all of you? Yes or no? Okay. Now you go for the next one. That is checking is total greater than 10. Now look at the current value of total and tell me, is the value of it greater than 10? Is the value of total greater than 10? Is this value greater than 10? No, it's false. Now tell me, repeat until loop. If the condition is false, will the program stop or will the program repeat? Now repeat until loop. If this condition is false, what will happen? Exactly. I said repeat until loop is like asking permission from your parents. You again and again and again and again you'll ask permission until the condition is true. Until you get the permission, you'll be asking, right? So you're going to again repeat. So again, when you're going to repeat, we have your total is equal total plus count. Now, based on that, tell me what will be the new value of total now. When you say total is going to be equal to total plus count, what is going to be the new value of total now? Yeah, correct. Umair, correct. Total plus count. How much? Salma correct. Zaid correct. Abdullah correct. Muhammad is correct. Nabiha correct. Yes. Yusra correct. You can see the value of total is 1. The value of count is 2. So total plus count. It is basically what? Total is 1. Count is 2. So total plus count is going to give you 1 plus 2. It is going to make the value of total now 3. Is that clear, all of you? Correct. So now total is going to be 3. Now you go for the next instruction. Count equals count plus 1. Now tell me what will be the new value of count after I execute this instruction. What will be the new value of count? Perfect. Count is going to be 3. Okay, count is going to be 3 because count plus 1 is 2 plus 1, which is 3. Now I go for the next instruction. Is total greater than 10? Look at the what you call, look at our table and tell me, is the current value of total, is that greater than 10? Look at the latest value of total and tell me, is it greater than 10? Yes or no? Perfect. If you check is 3 greater than 10, that's going to give you false. So repeat until loop. If the condition is false, should I repeat it again? Should I repeat the instructions again? Yes. So you again repeat the instructions. When you again repeat the instruction, they're saying total is equal to total plus count. Now tell me what will be the new value of count now? New value of total now. What will be the new value of total now? Wait, I forgot. I missed one instruction. I missed one instruction. After count equals count plus one, I forgot to display count. Huh? Wait, first of all, I display count. This is display total. So after I display total only, I'll check the condition. But yeah, now let's say I go and saw the value of total. Total equals total plus count. Yes, the new value of total is going to be 3 plus 3, which is 6. What's going to be the new value of count after I execute this instruction? After execute this instruction, what will be the new value of count? Yes, count equals count plus 1. So currently the value of count is 3. So count plus 1 is going to be how much? Yes, now count is going to be 4. Now the value of count is going to be 4. Right? Now next instruction, display total. So what is the value that's going to get displayed? Exactly. You can see the value of total is 6. So 6 is going to get displayed. 6 is going to get displayed. Now, after I've displayed, I'm going to go and check is total greater than 10. Look at the current value of total and tell me, is it greater than 10? The total is 6. So is 6 greater than 10? No. So I'm going to again repeat the instruction. Now, when you execute this instruction, total is equal to total plus count. What will be the new value of total? Total is 6, count is 4. So total plus count is going to be 6 plus 4, which is 10. What will be the new value of count? When you say count equals count plus 1. Count is 4, so count plus 1 is going to give you 5. Perfect. When you say display total, what is the value that's going to get displayed? Yes, total is now 10, so 10 is going to get displayed. The next instruction is total greater than 10. Is the value of total greater than 10 at the moment? Is 10 greater than 10? No, so that's going to be false. So I'm going to again repeat the instruction. Now we are saying total is equal total plus count. Now tell me what will be the now latest value of total now after this instruction is repeated. Total plus count. Perfect. That's going to be 15. Then we have count equals count plus 1. So what is going to be the new value of count? Nice. Count plus 1, that's going to be 6. And then next instruction, display total. So what is the value that has to get displayed? Nice. 15 has to get displayed. Then you come and check the condition. Is total greater than 10? Is it true or false? Now when I come and check, is total greater than 10? True or false? Yes. When you go and check, is 15 greater than 10? That's going to give you true. Now tell me, repeat until loop. If the condition is true, okay, when you're asking permission for your parents repeatedly, once you get the permission, will you again go and repeat the instruction? Should you again go and repeat all those instructions? No, the program stops. Okay. So after repeat until, is there any other instance? No. So what happens is once the loop stops, okay, not the program stop, loop stops. Once the loop stops, you go for the instruction that is there after the word until. Now after this word called until, are there any other instructions we have to execute? No, there is no other instruction. So because of that, the program is now complete. It has come to the end. When the program comes to the end, look at this and tell me, look at this diagram and tell me, what are the values we have displayed? What are the values we have displayed? Yes, we have displayed 1, 3, 6, 10, and 15. Right? So tell me, out of A, B, C, D, what do you think should be the correct answer in that case? B is the correct answer. Now, if you had drawn this dry run, actually you don't have to draw it fully. Even if you draw it in the middle itself, you will know. You will see that 3 is getting displayed, and you will notice the first one, 3 is not getting displayed after 1, so it's wrong. The third answer, 0 is getting displayed first, so wrong. Last answer, again, 3 is not displayed before after 1. So you can have stop the dry run from here itself. But again, if you drew the dry run, you can see that B is the correct answer. Is that clear, all of you? Why did you cut B and C? Yeah. That is a mistake. Yo. Tell me, all of you are clear how I found the answer is B, yes or no? Why 15 is displayed? Didn't you see me displaying it step by step? After you display total, I asked you and I wrote it. Sir, this is like accumulated frequency. Yes. Can I know the answer for the 25th question? It's A. And 26, it's B. Anyone have any questions here, apart from that? So always when you get these kind of questions, when they ask you the output, number of time repeating, easiest way is draw the dry run. Has a high probability to get the correct answer. And fill the dry run step by step. Some of you all have this pattern of filling dry run row by row. Now, did I fill this pattern row by row? Now, just because I have mentioned the output total as 1 here, does that mean, see, there is a value of total is 1 here? No. I did not fill this row by row. This is not a table like a database table. This is called a dry run, not a normal table. Okay. So here the values are not what do you call relational, which means just because I mention a one, does that doesn't mean that is a value of total currently. Okay. Always we fill the dry run row by we fill the dry run by what you call referring the program. Once the instruction is executed, we don't note it down here. Okay. The reason we draw a diagram is because our brain can't store all of these values. Now, if I tell you, okay, store these values 0, 1, 2, 7, 5, 11, 16, 15, 14, 13, kila, I'm not telling you 10 values or 15 values. After I tell these 10, 15 values, if I ask you to repeat what I said, I'm pretty sure around 90% of you all might get it wrong. I tell her about 15 values, 15 random values. I ask her, tell me back the values in the correct order. Majority of them might mess it up. At least one answer you might mess it up. At least one number you might miss. The reason is because our brain can't store an unorganized pattern of values. If it's organized, if it has a proper free, what do you call, um, we call that as, what do you call that, man? I don't know what 1, 3, 5. Just if there is equal number of d, like a equals n minus one d, what does it come under? In maths, we have a equals n minus one d. That's that coming at progression. If it has a progression, okay, if it has a progression, your brain can store it. But if the numbers does not have a progression, your brain is bloody confusing. It will confuse you like hell. You will mess up several things. That is why instead of storing things in a brain, we are storing this value on a paper. So always keep in mind, this is not row by row, it is not relational. This is relation column by column. So we are here storing the values like this. So when I ask you the count, you just check this. You don't check horizontally. Horizontally, it doesn't make sense. Keep that in your mind. This is something like four different. We are checking this column by column. That's the purpose of drawing because our brain can't store values. It is unorganized, right? That's the purpose of a diagram. Is that clear of you? But to solve this question, it will take 5 minutes. No. If you're a person who has done enough of past papers, you will do this question within less than a minute. I did this when we did the same question theory class. I discussed this whole question within a minute. I showed this answer within a minute how you can find. Did you prepare this paper with your own questions? 90, no, it's like 50-50. Some are my own questions, some are past paper questions modified in my pattern. Like the question might be, the idea of the question might be same, but the values and terms might be different. No, no, I'll be. This is the last question. I'll be stopping for today. Yeah, online you will be getting results tomorrow. Tell me, all of y'all, are y'all the English will be overdeveloped? Maybe. Are y'all clear on this question, all of you? Yes or no? How, why, and how do you do right answers? The more and more questions you practice, I tell you, that is what is going to make you perfect. The reason majority of y'all for programming y'all is very hard is because there is very few practices y'all do. The more and more and more and more and more practice you do, the questions will be very easy. Exactly. Look at this. The green color highlighted is answers. 23 answers B, 24 answers C, 25 answers A, 26 answers B. Did I hear something like you? I said you stop. Send the answer scheme for this. I'm now only making the answer scheme, man. See, with your you think I did this question earlier? Or when preparing the question, I just did in my mind. So there would obviously be what you call errors here. Ah, no, you will get your marks tomorrow. That is online class. Physical already got the marks. Amar, your marks is ready. I told you your marks already. If you did the paper physical, you would have already got the marks. Online, they'll be getting tomorrow. Our teacher said majority in our class got above 13 and she pacha poi. I'll give you the correct marking scheme. Go and check did she mark correctly. I'm pretty sure she messed it up in marking. I think girls might get in your class. Boys, I still have a doubt. Salman used to answer paper gets marks, send me. I'll just see her marking. I actually have the marking scheme which I did in my mind. I can't 100% guarantee it. That's why I'm again doing it here. By the way, today we're going to stop with the 26th question. The remaining ones I'll be discussing next week. If you have any question, you can stay and ask. We will be getting our paper. We will be getting our paper on this Thursday. That day, who Amrit came for the class. They were like, the new teacher is case Param. Is it grade 10 paper? No. Wow, as expected. If the online students do the exam physical, the result for us, your exam, if you did it physically, your papers are already marked. I actually, in the physical class, I gave the paper as well. So just WhatsApp me and I'll give you the marks. What is the price you're going to give for above 75? Not 75, I said 85. Up to now, above 85, I think that was, I only saw the physical papers. Out of physical papers, I think only Ammar Ghani got more than 85. I mean, out of put it physical, I think that bugger was the fellow who got. And again, the paper was marked very strict. My marking examiners were actually my paper marking people were very strict in marking papers, so they did not give half marks, 3 marks, and all for those potty potty methods even. So I thought Paune, because majority of your marks are less, I thought to do something fair. So I might increase your marks a bit wherever possible. So I'll recheck your papers. Online I didn't still check. Let me just check online cover because she said that she marked the updated in a Google Sheet. Let me check this Google Sheet. Have she updated it? Didn't, didn't, didn't. Let's see if anyone has broken who Ammar's record. Our new teacher is also going to get the wicket now. You might have to. Let's see, Salma. So basically, up to now in grade 11, wait, hasn't she updated the marks here? She hasn't updated the marks here. I think she's updated the marks on the paper. Let's open the paper and see. Eh? I don't know which Google Sheet did you update. I'll go and check with her. I didn't still check the online papers. So after I check it, I can exactly tell you how much marks. Ah, okay, okay. The mark is there here. Corrected paper. Corrected paper. The online I'll tell you later. I'll check. I'll double check all these stuffs. She has not given me access to those papers still. But physically, the highest was 90, 90. Is it the same for us also? Yeah. In our class, only two students got more than 75%. You told that you give this work as. I said I will check the average and decide whether it's 75 or 85. From 79, women had reduced my marks. Nice. Did you recheck our papers? Not yet. I'll be doing as soon as possible. I'll break the record. Ah, really? Who got A's? A's in physical, I think only in Vellavat there was around three students. Out of those three students, who did in Vellavat, three students got A. It was Rihan, Nabiha, and Zakir. But Rihan is online fellow. And in Kolan now, there were I think five people who got A, and all five are actually online people who came and did it physically. I think it was Ammar who had the highest. I think I have the papers with me. They are a distance. I'm not going to tell the marks. I'll just tell you who got A, who came and did the paper in Kolan now. This 10, this grade 10, and then grade 11, Kolan now. How is online students good than us? You are going to ask them only. I know. In online, the online people who came and did physically, Amber Ghani, Sara Amin, Hasna Anfas, Mohammad Irshad, and Yahya. The five of you already have got A. Who is the overall second and what is the score? Overall second score is very bad score. Like there is no 80s. After 90, it's again 78. I'm not going to tell who is it. I'll give my results on Thursday. I have doubt on a teacher's marking. So after she marks, send the paper and I'll double check has she marked correctly. Again, the marks the papers which are marked very strictly. So if you had made silly mistakes and all those stuffs, no marks. I will have to double check the papers and see podi devata can I give you all marks. So let's say yes, exactly. Again, I did not still check the online marks still because I not got let me ask her to put this one. Give me access to the updated papers drive. And then usually in Excel we get 1 mark if we get the function right. No, those are I will not give marks. You said that one boy's phone which has in browser in MAK, what's his marks? Fail. Can we leave? Yeah, you all can leave. I'm done with the discussion. I'm answering the questions you last. No, someone else. Rizan got it. He didn't Velavatan. Velavatan or Rihan Rizan, Nabiha and Zakir Hilas got it. Okay, as there's no other kind of questions, and here those who did the paper physically, those online class who get it physically, you can WhatsApp me and get your marks. But again, I'll send you all the PDF to double check. But before you all double check, I have to go and double check the papers. So put the marks, then upload on the kilabala. Let's see. Later, Amber. Okay, I'm going to end the meeting. If I have anything, just WhatsApp me and get things clarified. I can see how weak you're at programming at certain times. I'll do something for that. Wait. Not now. In October, I'll have a workshop for on programming. Hopefully, inshallah, let's see.